this is Henny Espinosa, VP for Just Dish Foundation, and I'm so honored that we are joined today by Javier Villalobos, who found success at an early age and is now giving back to younger people by means of mentorship. He founded the Dallas-based Mentor Rocket. Thanks for joining us here on Just Dish Foundation, Javier.
Thank you very much for inviting me, Henny.
Javier, let's talk about that early success that you found back in Mexico. Tell us how you got into entrepreneurship so early in life.
I was born and raised in Mexico, in Monterrey, actually, close to the border to US. I went to college over there. I started my first company while in college when I was about 22, along with my brother. So you know how some people have those stories about how they always had that entrepreneurship spirit when they were younger, when they were kids. I didn't have that, by the way. So I really don't consider myself as a natural entrepreneur. I was lucky to be next to my brother and start this journey as an entrepreneur with my brother and really learn how to push my limits. My brother, he's a really natural entrepreneur, but at the age of 23, I was already representing gold medal Olympic athletes. So we were starting a sports marketing agency at the time. I was closing deals with multinationals like Coca-Cola and Powerade, doing a lot of really cool stuff actually. But that learning experience led me to understand that leaders and entrepreneurs are not necessarily born, they are grown as well. You can learn those skills. I didn't have any of those skills. Actually, I was super afraid to speak in public. That's one of have a lot of learning experiences related to that and how I choked in front of people. But I was doing that when I was 23, 24. Since then, I have successfully founded 3 companies, a sports marketing agency, a PR and social media company that I recently founded about a couple of years ago, in a nonprofit to help students thrive from low-income communities.
So Javier, would you say early on, your brother became your main mentor?
Yeah, definitely. I think that he is still one of my biggest mentors. My mom also, I consider, my mom raised us as a single mother, and I mean, put 3 kids to college by herself. So also I consider my mother one of my greatest mentors in life.
You mentioned earlier about, that you made mistakes along the way, but you kept going. For some people, failing or making mistakes might easily discourage them to either just stop what they're doing or shift their focus. At what point do you say, okay, this is not for me? Or do you just keep going until you perfect what it is you're supposed to do or what you set yourself out to do?
Well, to be transparent, there's been many times in my entrepreneurship career that I have said, I'm ready to throw the towel, to quit. I will be lying if I say that, no, I always believed in myself and blah, blah, blah. I think that all top entrepreneurs have, at some point in their life, doubted themselves, right? The top leaders in the world, if you read Nelson Mandela and all these top leaders, they have doubts as well. They're humans. Sometimes we portray ourselves as that we have all figured out, but it's not true. So I think that I've been in those situations many times when things are not going in the direction that I want to, or that I'm failing and making a lot of mistakes, or we're losing money as well, or we're not making enough money. But I think a lot of is grit, persistence, and I think that surrounding yourself with the right people next to you will give you a lot of the courage that you need in order to actually keep going. And I think that one of the greatest drivers for me is to actually, when you really like that goal that you set for yourself and you're motivated to do it, it should be something that you like and you're passionate about, at least the end result, because things are going to get tough at some point. Sooner or later, things are going to get tough. Doesn't matter what you do or who you are. Things are going to get tough. And at least if you like that end result and you're striving for it, at least you're going to push through it. If you really don't like it, you're going to quit so easily.
Correct. If you're passionate about what you do, really, that's the drive that you need to keep at it, because it's so, like you said, so easily to get discouraged when, mistakes or setbacks come your way. So let's talk about that big journey from Mexico to Texas. What brought you to Texas, and kind of how you started things there as well?
So we were representing athletes in Mexico at the moment, soccer players and Olympic athletes, boxers, divers, all kinds. But we grew actually through the soccer industry, and we represented an athlete in terms of like agents, right? And we sold him to the FC Dallas here in Dallas, Texas. So that's how we made that transaction, and we started traveling to Dallas a lot. One thing led to another, and we decided to open an office in Texas. So that's how we came here, and we stayed.
But let's talk about kind of how you transitioned to the nonprofit sector. You've been successful as an entrepreneur. You mentioned you have a few successful companies that you built. What prodded you to go into the nonprofit sector? And are you still an active entrepreneur?
Yes, I'm still active, an entrepreneur. I'm still at the board of my sports agency, and again, like I was mentioning, this digital and PR marketing agency that I have, and I divide my time between the nonprofit and my entrepreneurship career. I started the nonprofit Mentor Rocket a few years back, and it's a combination of hundreds of events that happened to me that led me to start that nonprofit. I think I was mentioning before that I was not a natural entrepreneur. Through those multiple learning experiences led me to understand that, like I was mentioning, that leaders and entrepreneurs are not necessarily born, but they are grown. And that we all have that genius potential inside of us. And it's just a matter of unlocking that potential with the right tools and help. And by listening also to a lot of people complaining that, yeah, school didn't teach me this, and the school, of course, didn't prepare me to be an entrepreneur, or doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur or not. They didn't teach me how to manage a credit card or how to learn about taxes or a lot of stuff in life. So I came up with the idea of forming an organization that actually teaches, especially underprivileged students, those skills that I believe there are life needed skills to thrive. That with the right mindset, motivation, and the right methods, there are actually no limitations. So a lot of that stuff that we focus on our nonprofit is to teach us stuff like managing a credit card effectively, the importance of saving and investing at a young age. Like school doesn't teach us that, right? Stuff about entrepreneurship, basic negotiation skills, like nobody prepared me to ask for a raise or to negotiate a contract with a company, like really basic stuff. Habits of successful people, like persistence and grit are essential, like waking up early, surrounding yourself with smart people that can lift you up, and good people, good quality people, stuff like that, like how to learn from failure, like what actually can go inside my mind and be able to motivate myself. That's actually key in life, stuff like that. So we have a lot of workshops and topics around it. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the communities that you serve. You mentioned underprivileged communities. Tell us why it's so important for Mentor Rocket to be present in the lives of these children. Tell us a little bit about the background of these communities that you serve.
Sure. So we're focused on the majority of high schools, that level of students, and hopefully one day we'll go into college students as well. But these communities, low-income communities, they're, of course, we're right now based in Dallas, and that's where we focus on Dallas and the Metroplex. So we go usually a little bit outside of Dallas, the Metroplex, to these high school student communities. And these are, like, for example, Molina High School is one of our top schools, and 95% of the students are low income. They can actually be able to have like free lunch in the government's program. These are people that Not everybody goes to college. A lot of them, their parents are gardeners or painters or like in the construction workers, stuff like that. And I think that a lot of the mindset that this type of students sometimes have, it's very fixed mindset, what we call fixed mindset. Like they think if my parents are this, it's okay to be in that area, which is okay. It's not bad, but and they have of course respectable jobs, but sometimes they don't have that growth mindset that when they meet with other with entrepreneurs, and we bring this top speaker and elite mentors to talk about how they came from nothing as well, and when they see that somebody else like coming from a very similar background, they made it, or they started their own company, they get inspired and empowered and say, I can do this as well, and I have those dreams as well. How come I cannot do it? So that's a lot of the type of students that we work with, and it's impressive how their mind starts to shift after a few sessions.
Yeah.
And they say, I can do it, and you can feel that they're light up, right, when they hear these stories.
That's so awesome that you allow them to have access to these, people that are top in their fields, and I can imagine how busy they are, but they took the time to, out of their busy schedules, to talk to the kids and share their knowledge and expertise and life learnings. How have they responded, these top people? Were they like, yes, I'll do it, I'll be that mentor for the kids? Were they enthusiastic? Was it hard getting them?
Well, most of them are friends of mine, and I've been lucky enough to have them. But I wouldn't say really hard. It's actually, if we look hard enough and we dare to ask for help, you will find that there's a lot of people in your network that they can help you. And sometimes, to be honest, a few of them that are not really close to me, I just have to ask. And sometimes we feel like, I don't know, we don't have the courage to ask for help. But when you do, and it's for something, a noble cause, a good mission, you will find that people that could be complete strangers, they come to help you. Mm-hmm. That's amazing. So that's one of my top learning experiences of starting a nonprofit, that you can sum up a lot of people, great people, and smart people that they don't really know you, and they just want to help people.
I mean, if it's for a good cause, people will do it. People will take the time. Javier, how do you feel when you see these kids' lives changed? Like you mentioned, like you see the growth, you see the shift in their mindset. What kind of fulfillment do you get when you know that what you're doing really makes an impact in the lives of these children?
Actually, you just mentioned a really interesting word, fulfillment. I believe that I used to believe that fulfillment comes from like making a lot of money and being successful and being in front of the cameras, right? And having my name on a newspaper, right? And literally, it took me a few years to realize that fulfillment comes from helping others, actually. But because that feeling of helping others is something that fuels you, actually, and makes you feel like you're doing something for this world, not just taking stuff in, right? So for me, it's an amazing feeling. And actually, when I see the students, like see at the beginning, for example, in our sessions, we make them feel surveys about how they think about certain topics and what they want to do in life, stuff like that. And at the end of the 10-session program, we ask them again very similar questions, and we compare, right? And also you can see that transition on every session and through all our guest speakers, and you start seeing that shift. You start seeing that hunger that they have also, and it's just magical to be able to see that actually and say, you know what, we can make an impact, and let's sum up more people, and let's try to make this bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's it's an amazing feeling.
Javier, we certainly see the good that you've done in the community. Mr. Jack Wu, and of course, Just Wish Foundation, we want to support you in your goal of, doing more. You're already doing a lot, but we want to support you in your goal of doing more for the community and for these children. So we wanted to make a monetary donation to Mentor Rocket, and we want to just let you know that we are rooting for you, and we appreciate what you do for the community, and more power to you, Javier, and to Mentor Rocket.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Kenny.